Colorado woman claims to have had thousands of out-of-body experiences, and she says she can help you to do the same. We'll talk to her next on Good Afternoon, Colorado.
The most fascinating guest today in Marilynn Hughes. We're not even going to spend time on whether or not she is telling the truth, because I've talked to her and I think she is. This is a young woman from Mont Vista who has had thousands of out-of-body experiences, and she remembers vividly about them, and she talks about them real openly.
Yeah, in fact, Marilynn chronicles her out-of-body adventures in a couple of books. She had big successes with Odysseys of Light, fascinating reading whether you believe it occurs or not, and her newest book, hot off the presses, is called Crystal River. I knew I wouldn't get through it. Too much fruity chicken salad. Crystal River Flowing. Please welcome the author of fascinating Marilynn Hughes. Great to have you, Marilynn.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, we want to know how old you were when you had your first experience.
Well, the first experience I had when I was about 9 years old. But in my adult life, it started happening again at about, I think it was about 21 or 22. And so the first time I had it, I was actually pre-warned, I guess, to say that it would begin happening later in my life and that I had something to do. And then it began shortly after the birth of my daughter.
Were you scared?
The first time I was scared of it because I didn't know what was happening. It was not something I was expecting. And but I also had an awareness, even though it was scary, because it's like, when it first happens, you might have that illusion that you're dying or something, because, you're leaving your body. So I also knew, even though I was scared, that it was okay. And so it was like, even though I was afraid, I wanted it to happen again. And so I was trying to work on, not being so afraid of it so that maybe it could happen again.
Now, I've had the opportunity to talk to you for a little while, and I guess the thing that's so hard for people to get their arms around is, what is it? People talk about out-of-body experiences and describe light but what is it? Is it really, are you going somewhere?
Yes. The thing that I think is the biggest illusion that we have in the physical realm is that this is the only place there is. The first experiences that I had in the out-of-body were the simple things like being out of your body and seeing yourself on the bed. But then it's when you start traveling interdimensionally, traveling backwards and forwards in time, learning about your own past, your own futures, things that are relevant to you in the now that you're going to learn from. There are so many different realms of existence. I've gone to hundreds of them. I think they're numerous. I think there's no number to them. I think there's so many.
Tell us where you go.
There's like the 23rd dimension, where I call it the 23rd, just to give it an idea of where it is. Vibrationally, is where the golden angels are, and that is where the energy of what I compare it the closest to would be like the Mother Mary energy, and they're these beautiful angels with these golden wings. They're iridescent. There's a realm that I call the Messianic realm, which reminds me of the Christ energy, and there's like pastel colors, and you'll see these little sparkly lights all over. There's other places that are much like Earth, but they're more vibrant, like a crystal forest, one of the really beautiful places. I talk about that in Crystal River Flowing, where the trees are made of crystal, and there's a golden river. The whole forest is different crystals. The leaves are like purple crystal, and it's just beautiful.
Are your sketches the best representation of that? Your drawings, for example?
They are as best as I can do, because I'm not the greatest painter. But for instance, that is the stairway to what I call the re-energizing station. That is where you go, if any of you have ever seen the show Quantum Leap, that kind of thing actually occurs. And that is where you go after you have been pulled in to go alter something in the physical realm, and you are re-energized back to to get you ready to go back to your body. But the best way to describe that is Quantum Leap, because it's very similar, and it's not identical, but it's very similar to what happens in the spiritual planes. The spiritual helpers are pulled in. If someone is going to, like an example, if someone is going to get killed and they're not supposed to, and Spirit would like to try to intervene, you might be pulled in, and you'll go in just like Scott Bakula, I guess, does on that show.
Sure.
And all you go in is with the information, I need to move to the right at this particular point in time, so that they will dodge a bullet, and then you have completely altered that reality.
But no, Marilyn, this is all wonderful reading, and you're a fascinating guest, but there have to be skeptics. There have to be people who say, this gal is gone. Of course, she's here for the moment, but and gone periodically, but there have to be people who say.
Yeah, there are people, I'm sure. I don't run into that many of them because I think most of the people that know me know well enough that I'm sincere. The majority of the people that I run into are usually people that I feel are drawn to me because they are open to it and they have a certain awareness already.
Is that why you were, say, chosen to do this? I go to bed at night and the only reason I wake up is like Catherine's crying, you know. So I don't go to the 23rd.
It's an out-of-body experience to the nursery and then back to back.
That too.
But I mean, why were you? Are you a prophet to bring a message? Are you? I
don't consider myself a prophet. In fact, that makes me uncomfortable because I consider myself very normal. I'm very human. I have just as many problems as other people. I think what I would consider myself the closest to would be like a map maker, like Lewis and Clark, charting uncharted territory. And it's just like they went all the way across west. No one had been there. They made a little map and said, if you go here, this is what you'll see. I do the same thing and say, if you go to the 23rd dimension, you'll see the golden angels. If you go over here, this is, and what it does is it helps people to get an idea of where to go. And I don't think that, I think that everyone is chosen for something, and I may have been chosen to write some of this stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm somehow different or special or better than anyone else in any way, shape, or form.
I must tell you, we wish that we could go with you, but since we can't, we'll just read the book.
Okay.
The newest book, again, is Crystal River Flowing. I can't say it, but you certainly can read it. The author, Marilynn Hughes.